I'm an inventor who loves Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm a dyslexic author. And so God found this way to merge the two and have me build something that was really fun. They think I'm either doing drugs or something.
You're dressed up as a pirate. You're dressed up as a pirate.
This is really fun. This is the CAD that I made of the truck toppers.
Why do you think God calls people in their weakness?
This is gonna anger some people. This is a hot take. One of these coins is secretly gonna be swapped with a genuine gold coin. So it's a $10,000 coin.
Oh, this is the ultimate tiny house.
This thing is livable, yeah. I was really suicidal my senior year of college and ended up almost taking my life. That's God's reaction, and it's his character. That's how he functions. So walk across the thing, man. Like the Bible's full of stories of people doing life with God and going on the adventure of a lifetime.
You're redeeming the idea of a pirate. Oh, dude, that's incredible.
This is the world's first look at the inside of the Fellowship.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee today, gonna interview Parker. Parker the pirate. He's an inventor, severely dyslexic, he hates to read books, and yet God called him to write a book.
Ahoy, mate!
Parker, what's up? Welcome to the Salty Christians YouTube channel. So you're gonna give me a tour of a pirate ship on the back of your vehicle, but first, I wanna go back before all of the pirate parables and your pirate ship here. Tell me about life before Jesus. Going back, what was that, about 5-6 years ago?
Man, it was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I have wanted to be the next Thomas Edison since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I've just been making stuff. As you can see, I built this pirate ship truck topper recently, which was really fun. And I knew my giftings were making things. But I grew up in a really legalistic Christian household. So I thought I knew all the right answers, but the fruit all around me was just a lot of, I'd say, rules and control, and that bred just some confusion in life. And I got really depressed and really anxious, and I was a really driven guy. So I'm like, I'm just gonna figure this out for myself. So I tried doing that. I tried being perfect at my work. I went to school for industrial design, product design, and I loved it. But I would burn myself out working and working and working. So I tried to find relief through drugs and alcohol, and that just led to more burnout. And then tried getting satisfaction with girls and like manipulating girls, and that leaves everybody hurt in the end. So I was really suicidal my senior year of college and ended up almost taking my life. And I was at the end of pretty much everything. And I cried out to God. I was like, I've tried everything. I think I've tried you, God. Maybe I haven't, but I've tried everything else. And life's pretty much gotten worse every day since I was born. And I can't do this anymore. So I'm gonna take a little trip to Florida, and I was living in Michigan at the time. And I'm just gonna enjoy the sunshine and relax a little bit, and then come back and I'm gonna take my life. And so you got like maybe a couple weeks to show up, and God did. He showed up in many ways. And I met God, and he saved my life he saved my life. I wouldn't be alive right now if it weren't for him. And so I'm just thankful to be alive and thankful for another chance here.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about in your video online, you did the Kickstarter for this book, Pirate Parables.
Fully funded, baby.
Fully funded, yes,
Let's
congrats.
go.
Well, so you talked about you were a pirate in a bad way, stealing from people. You're redeeming the idea of a pirate with this book, which we'll get into. But explain that, like, for someone watching, like, how do you equate yourself being a pirate and stealing from people, even though you weren't physically stealing stuff?
Yeah. I think we all have the hole deep down inside of our hearts, and people talk about that a lot, but it's so real, whether you want to admit it or not. I think the people who don't admit it just stay landlocked, and they try to just make a comfortable life and convince themselves that everything's okay. And then I realized, like, I'm screwed. Like, there's this hole that keeps getting bigger and bigger, So I'm just going to try to find things to stuff it with. And so I became a pirate trying to steal from other people emotionally, trying to steal the money to get drugs, trying to just get ahead, stomp on people's just to get ahead and work in any way I could, manipulating people and really being the negative kind of a pirate. And then that hunger really drove me to God because I was looking so hard. I think some of the most lost people who are willing to admit that they are lost and are willing to cry for help and like look for solutions end up finding God. Like when you, I think it was C.S. Lewis, somebody said when you knock on the door of a brothel, you're knocking on the gates of heaven. Not in the sense of like heaven is in the brothel, but it's like you're looking for solutions. And it's admirable, I think, to look for solutions. So I was looking hard and trying to brave those seas. And then I ended up finding God along the way and found that treasure that fills my heart. And life's gotten better every day since I've known God. It's not even a joke. People see the joy in my life and are like, they think I'm either doing drugs or
you're
something.
Dressed up as a pirate. You're dressed up as a pirate.
Sure am.
And this is not Halloween.
It's not Halloween, no. It's a lifestyle. So, yeah, I'm just thankful for another chance at life and thankful to redeem that that stereotype of pirate. Now I get to find that wealth and honestly like take the wealth from God because he's like, come and drink from this well. And so you drink and drink and drink, and then you just have too much. You have to give it away.
Well, the idea of treasure. You know, pirates have treasure, and you found the ultimate treasure.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk. I think people are going to really resonate with this because so you're severely dyslexic, and yet you wrote a book. And so it's like, okay, God, why are you calling me to do something that I don't even read? But before we do that, we got to check out this pirate ship a little more. You got to give me a tour here.
Let's do it.
Pirate ship
you follow
on
me.
a Toyota Tundra.
This thing was wild to build. Nothing like this exists in the world that I know of.
You didn't just go online and find the
This
plans?
is not, no, I designed this from scratch. I built the outside in 2 weeks and I built the inside in about 2.5 weeks. And holy moly, it was a blast. I'm an inventor who loves Jesus. And I'm a dyslexic author. And so God found this way to merge the two and have me build something that was really fun and functional for me to go on book tour in. Because in all of 2026, I'm going on book tour in this and hiding coins, which we'll get to in a little bit.
We'll get to that,
and just to get to express the beauty of the book through something else that's physical. So,
you were telling me that you're driving down the road and almost causing accidents because people are like, what's going on?
This thing is problematic. So we got some real genuine cannon ports. These are functioning cannon ports. That doesn't shoot just yet.
Okay, well, what's it gonna shoot?
Well, let us know in the comments.
Okay, that's a good idea.
What do you want us to shoot? Check this out. So I got stands on the inside. I can prop these bad boys up. I got cannons in there, screens and everything.
Nice.
And the other side, it's got fans. So it's for ventilation. You can suck the air out.
Because you're going to be living. This is your home.
This will be my home for
much of the next year.
You got a little power input. You get to go to campgrounds and
crazy.
Hook up some.
So this is actually
heaters.
functional. Like this is
really
not just like a parade float. This is This is your home to spread the message of pirate parables. That's incredible.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And shall we get a look inside?
Yes, and you told me you want to get my fix, so I have not seen the inside yet, so we're going to get my reaction.
Let's do it. Hey.
I love it, man.
This is good.
I think the kids say based.
Based, yeah. All right, this is the world's first look at the inside of the Fellowship.
Oh, this is the ultimate tiny house. Wow.
This thing is livable, yeah.
It is totally livable. So, pirates wanted.
I'll be looking for pirates on this book tour. So I call it the Fellowship because it is something that will create mates all throughout the country, wherever I go.
Yeah.
And I'm here to connect with people. That's the purpose of this book tour, is to connect with fellow pirates. So I want to find people who are like-minded, who are starving to find the truth, really starving to get spiritually rich.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna find them, and we're gonna connect, and I want to meet you guys on this tour.
So where can people find out where the tour is going?
On the Pirate Parables YouTube channel.
Okay.
Is the place. It's the place where updates will be found.
Okay.
It's the place where clues will be for these coins.
Okay.
And it's a place where you can comment on where you want me to go next.
Oh,
so you
cool.
actually decide my journey.
That's
And
cool.
a little crazy thing about this tour is I'm halting online book sales and only doing book sales in person. So if you want to buy a book, you either find me
Yeah.
or host me at your church or youth group, and
Okay.
I'll give a talk. And I would love to sell books there. And
That's-
I really want this genuine face-to-face connection for
Yeah.
the next at least 6 months. And so come find me.
That is so cool. So tell me about
Oh man,
any of the
there's
technology
so much in here.
So I'm seeing
Oh,
a little battery pack.
little
You got
battery.
your fan.
fan is
There's-
also a heater, and so
Okay.
I can
I guess you're
heat
gonna
this
need that,
bad
'cause-
boy up. Yeah, depending on where I'm going. And I got a cooler for putting some chicken in there, and I'm gonna get I'm working on the whole ventilation system so I can cook in here on a rainy day.
Oh wow.
And this is a lazy boy over here. It's so comfy just to chill in, and it turns into my bed on
Okay.
the left side. So you're able to, it's honestly pretty comfy with 2 people in here just talking and having fun, drinking
Yeah.
a cup of coffee. I'd love to make you a cup of coffee. So if you see me on tour, I'll make you a cup of coffee. And we got a bunch of nifty quirks and features. We got some fold out desk storage. Look at that. Could cook some rice on this bad boy. We got a trash can.
A little teapot, or is that a coffee
little
pot?
teapot. Somebody gave that to me here,
Nice.
actually. There's a water jug, 5-gallon. And then, fun fact is, these carpet platforms down here, there's 3 of them. They go up on these rails and create a second bed. So my future wife. Maybe I'll
Okay.
find her on
Maybe
book
you'll
tour.
find
A
her on
princess.
yeah.
Princess, find
Steal
a
her
princess
heart.
steal her heart like the pirate I really am. Yeah. So so I can't
I don't know if you're gonna have
too.
little baby pirates in here though.
Little
So
baby
this
pirates.
would be,
Maybe we need an upgraded
Yeah,
pirate
we'd have
ship.
to use-
That's for the full scale pirate ship.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see here. So it's 3 chests, and oh, look at that!
What?
A surprise for Matt.
No way.
This is a gift for you, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I made this for you this morning, actually. Check this out. I feel like you and your viewers will
Oh,
enjoy it.
dude, that's incredible. So you're an artist, an inventor.
Oh, I've
You just
drawn
love
stuff
being
since I was a little
creative.
kid.
That's crazy. Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. And then I've also got a, let's see here. You said an XL just
Oh,
for you.
perfect.
A t-shirt for Pirate Parables.
Nice.
These are gifts for you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gifts or loot.
Gifts
I'll call
or
them a
loot.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Well, let's go over here on the water. I mean, any interview with a pirate needs to be on the water.
Let's go.
So let's talk about, this is how crazy it is for someone with severe dyslexia to be called by God to write a book. Tell me
Yeah.
the origin story of writing
Holy
Pirate
moly.
Parables.
Yeah. It's a strange origin. It's not something I would have ever anticipated. But it's something God had planned,
Yeah.
and He makes us strong in our weakness. Man, this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have been working in the product design world for a few years. I've worked in furniture design for Hayworth and done some experimental stuff with Herman Miller, and I've done medical device design. I've done some toy design, and I loved it, but I really have a heart for music, and so started developing a music tool, and I've been doing that for the past few years.
Okay.
And I patented a music device. It's like a pocket producer, like a musical sketchbook, so musicians can go out and about and get ideas out of their head silently. So they don't have to bother people singing the voice memos. It's
Yeah.
a first to market mover. And so I patented it, got the patent approved,
Cool.
and got great manufacturer lined up and celebrity contacts to back it. And I was like, moved to Nashville. God really moved me here. God gave me that truck. It's a miracle truck. The story's told in the book. It's a crazy, crazy story.
Okay.
And I was just ready to rock and roll. And then God's like, I want you to write a book. And I was like, there's no way, man.
And you're like, I don't even read books.
I don't read books. I don't like books. And God just spoke to me really tenderly, saying that all these parables he's given me in my devotion time over the past 6 years, he wants me to take those parables and turn them into a book for the world to read. And I was like, God, there's many problems with this. But first, I think there's only like 20 or 30 in my journal. They're great parables, but this is going to take years to write.
Yeah.
I don't have years, man. Like, we gotta get this. We gotta get this product out. And God's like, count them. So I counted them, and there's like 140. And like, okay, I guess it's kind of, the work is done, I guess, in a way. I'll steward this, God. And so I put some things together, and within a week and a half of that, I meet a HarperCollins publicist.
Wow.
And I'm like, randomly, whatever, however God works.
You're not running in those circles with publicists.
No, I'm a product designer.
Yeah.
And then I meet executive at David C. Cook.
Which is another book
publisher. Yeah. And I start talking with The Rabbit Room, which is a Christian book publisher. Yeah. And start talking with all these book publishers, and a lot of them are really interested in publishing. And then I give people the rough copy of the book, and it brings them to tears. And people are like, I'll buy cartons of this. I'm like, that's not normal. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So God really just kept fueling the project, and I refined it to the point where it was all the parables and then underscored by my testimony. And it was explaining the meaning of the parables, and it was great, but the parables didn't have a cohesive storyline told through it. And then one day in devotion time, God just dropped this wild God bomb to make the whole thing an interwoven pirate tale. And so
so these weren't even a pirate tale before. These were just
That's the crazy part. It was 100 random parables that had nothing to do with each other,
just based on what God was
and
teaching
I'm like,
you in your quiet
God,
time.
this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And he's like, just try it. And so I go through them one by one, and the story literally wrote itself. And it turned into this awesome pirate narrative that you would not know it wasn't written like that on its own.
Yeah.
And so it's 100 random parables from 6 years that God literally just wove into this. And then showed that to people, and they couldn't get enough of it. And some pretty big world-renowned theologians like some wild people you'll see on the testimonials in the back of the book started reaching out to me. They got my number from people. I don't even know to this day how some of them got my number. And they're like, what are you working on? I need to hear about this. And they would read it in like a few hours. Yeah. It's not normal for someone who's that busy. So God led me to do a Kickstarter, and I did my first Kickstarter, and it got funded in 30 days. It's over $20,000. And it's not a crazy amount of money, but for a book, for somebody who never thought they'd write a book, I mean, I know people who have tried to write books for 35 years. Yeah. And have never met a publicist, have never done anything with their writings, and are just still thinking, maybe someday I will. And so this is totally a God thing. Yeah. And God, through the journey, just directed me to self-publish the book and to say no to the publishers. Yeah. God was like, it'll be better this way.
Yeah. You can make a pirate ship and hit the road and do your own marketing plan.
Crazy. Are we going to talk about this marketing plan, man? Can I show you these coins?
Let's do it, yeah.
Holy moly.
And then I got another question for you, but yeah.
Yeah. So before I show you this coin, I was freaking out about how to market this book, because I do not like social media. I don't like what it's doing to people's brains. It was good maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, just following your friends, but now it's turned into this, like, just this machine that's trying to pump out attention. And
when science even shows us it's not good for us.
It's not good in many ways. So I was frustrated with God. I'm like, that's the only way I'd know how to market a book. I don't want to have to do this. And God's like, just trust me, trust me, trust me. So I finished the book, and then God dropped this cool blueprint to make the whole PR stunt and marketing stunt for this a scavenger hunt, kind of like Pokemon Go, and get people off their phones into the real world, and to find find everybody, whether they're broken or not, like they're just scrolling through social media and they find the clues to these coins and they get to go out into their favorite coffee shop or wherever it might be and find a coin, get a free book. And these coins, check out these coins. Just
that is cool. I gotta feel it.
Pure brass. So it'll be 1,000 coins hidden. And it's one coin hidden for every 10 books sold.
Okay.
And one of these coins is secretly going to be swapped with a genuine gold coin. So it's a $10,000 coin.
Yeah.
At least, minimum $10,000 coin. What are you going to do if you find it, man? What are you going to do? Are you going to keep it, collect it, or are you going to trade it in and what are you going to do with $10,000?
That's a great question. I guess I have to ask my kids, my family.
Your kids, yeah.
Probably will go towards them.
Okay, kid. That shows your heart. You're a good husband. So I'm just excited to hide these.
And get families involved.
Families, college students. Like, this is what I would have wanted when I was in college, or even a kid. Like, just some reason to go on an adventure, out in the world, go find friends doing it, and then find something physical and get a free book out of the whole experience. Yeah. I'm just excited to give that experience to people.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm thinking of as I'm hearing your story, it's the parallels between like Moses. He did not feel equipped to do what God called him to do. Why do you think God calls people in their weakness? And maybe dyslexia is a superpower for you too. It can be a weakness, but why do you think God chooses to call us into these things that we feel totally unequipped to do?
I think that's a good question. I think we should talk about that more, just in general. I discovered in 11th grade that I was severely dyslexic. We didn't catch it till then. So I just thought I was an idiot for 11 years. And I was told that I wasn't intelligent. And so I just thought I was a lazy, unintelligent kid.
Yeah.
It was really hard, really, really hard growing up. And so it's funny that God would choose me to write a book. And I was thinking that's going to be totally impossible, because the way I have to write things and read things is I can type, but I have to have the computer read it out loud to me. That's the only way I can edit things.
Really?
So that's the entire book. How the whole book was written was me typing, having it read it out loud. And I'm like, God, this is going to take forever. And it's not even going to be good. Like, I haven't written stuff because it's so frustrating. And the reason I think God does that is so that he can be made known. I'll tell you a story, even with the Kickstarter. I mean, people would think a Kickstarter, common knowledge would say, okay, you have a Kickstarter, it launches, and you call people. You start calling people, you do a marketing campaign, you pay for ads. And I'd hustled the whole past year writing the book. And then I hustled the 2 weeks before the Kickstarter, just making the video. It's a cool video. Go and watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, I'll link it below. Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. And so the Kickstarter launched, and I was exhausted. I was zonked. And so I asked God, I'm like, what do we do, man? Do I just start calling people even though I'm exhausted? He's like, just rest. Just rest for the first week. And I was like, okay. So I did nothing the first week. I just rested and rested and rested. And it felt great. And then I was starting the second week. I'm like, let's do this thing. And God's like, how about you build a pirate ship, truck topper? I'm like, that makes no sense. This is the worst time to do that. I don't have the funds to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't have, there's just no reason to do that. I should be calling people. And God's like, just trust me. This is the best time to do it. And I'm like, okay. So I started building without the funds to do it and thinking, this is insane. It's like Noah. Literally like Noah. Like, this is the worst time to build. There's no reason to do this. And right when I started building, somebody came to me and said, hey, God just told me to, whatever you're working on, to just write a blank check for. Wow. And so that whole thing was just really a gift from God. And so I was like, okay, clearly God wants me to be doing this. So I built the outside in those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there was 1 week left in the Kickstarter, and it was about halfway funded. You probably saw it when
Yeah,
it was,
I think so, yeah.
And I was like,
we'll walk over here again.
I was like freaking out a little bit. I'm like, God, this whole truck thing is great. I mean, it's fun building. I love building things, but we got a Kickstarter, man.
Yeah.
And that last week came around and my phone froze. My phone broke. It felt like God just touched my phone and was like, nope, I'm not even gonna give you a chance. And I was so angry at God. I'm like, this reflects so badly on me, God. And he's like, Parker, give me a chance to sell the book. It's my book. It's not your book. Like, God wrote it. So give me a chance to do this. And I'm trying to create the space so that every other possibility is gone except for only God did this. And so I had to just give it to him. I couldn't call people or text people that last week. And it was like a day, I think the last day of the Kickstarter, my phone just fixed itself. I'm a pretty techie guy. I'm a product designer. I'm like, I don't know how. I couldn't figure out a way to do it. And so the last day I texted a few people, but it came through. And it was over 20,000 that got funded.
Wow.
And so we get to publish this book and the world gets to see it. And so it's like only God got that through. And so I think he brings us to places like Moses at the edge of the water, and Moses is like, why'd you do this, man? Like, we're all going to die now. Like, I can't do anything. And God's like, exactly. You can't do anything, Moses. Like, you can't. Now you're at a river or whatever, a lake or a sea.
The Red Sea, yeah.
The Red Sea.
Yeah.
You're at the edge of that. And if you go right, the Egyptian army will kill you. If you go left, the Egyptian army will kill you. And you have however many hundreds of thousands of all these people with you. So what are we going to do? And the only thing to do is to cry out to God. And so God keeps putting me in those places of like, hey, you have nowhere else to go. Yeah. And so I think it's just like God likes that heart posture of like, I'm going to do this, God, and if you don't come through, I'm going to look like a fool. And he works with that. He works with that like crazy.
He does his best work with that.
Yeah. And so it's just been thing after thing for the past 6 years. And that's what the whole book is.
That is so
It's
cool.
just story after story of miracle after miracle of God coming through and proving that he's God. You know, he's real.
Let's go ahead and inside. You got some fun stuff to show me in there. So tell me about this place. This is where you built the pirate ship.
This place is awesome.
It's called Maker Nashville, right?
Yeah, it's Make Nashville.
Make Nashville.
It's up by Shelby Park, and it's one of my favorite places in Nashville. I found this a few years ago, and I've built prototypes for my music product here, and it's just like a huge space with every tool you could imagine.
Yeah.
And this is my dream, really. It's like a fun space to create anything. We got pottery, we've got a metalworking studio, we've got a whole bunch of turntables for more pottery, and then woodworking shop. We can hey Todd, how you doing?
Hey guys.
We can take a peek in this wood shop.
You probably spent a lot of time in here.
Holy moly, yeah. So much time. So, it's nice tools too. Powermatic is a sponsor of here, so they give us tools to test, and it's a blast. So, I love it here. It's great community, great support system for learning anything, really.
Yeah.
So,
well, and God's creative. So,
God's so creative.
I can tell you come alive when you get to do anything creative.
Totally. Yeah. And got a little film studio here, electronics lab. This is one of my favorites. We got a 3D printing studio.
Oh, cool.
Hey. Yeah. You print anything.
Wow.
It's really something. Sewing lab. And here we are. This is just some relics from the whole journey. Those are some coins. And
these are the coins you're going to be taking on the road with you.
Yeah, those
right?
are some of them.
Well, you had how many? 1,000 you said?
There'll be 1,000 hidden,
Okay.
and so it'll just be as the books sell, then I'll
Yeah.
keep hiding more.
That's so fun.
This is really fun. This is the CAD that I made of the truck topper. So it's fully insulated, and people like seeing this, just the inside of it and the skeleton. Where I couldn't have done this without CAD. This is some people thought I was crazy here. I just started building a door out of nowhere. They're like, "Is that a dog door? What are you?
Yeah.
This is really short door." They're like, "Are you okay, man?"
You can't buy this online.
No. And I put the frame up on the truck, and they're like, "Is that a cage? What are you building?" I'm just wait a week. Like, it's gonna look really cool. And now I drive around, and I can't get gas without people coming
bet.
over and being like, "That is so cool. We watched a Tiny Homes TV show. This is so. I want to build this with my son. I want
Yeah.
to travel around with my wife." So it's been really encouraging seeing people's childlike creativity get sparked.
And this
you
is
know?
going to open up so many doors for you to be salt and light. Because, they're going to come to you and they're going to go, why are you doing this? And then you can share your story.
Yeah, that's something that's blown my mind about this whole project. I'm glad you brought that up. C.S. Lewis talked about a shoemaker who a Christian shoemaker
by putting the cross on it, but by making excellent work.
Yeah, he doesn't make bad shoes. Like a Christian shoemaker doesn't make bad shoes with a cross on it. He makes excellent shoes. And so God's really taught me how to make like artwork and storytelling and the whole coin thing. Just do it with excellence in a way that's captivating to everyone.
Yeah.
And draws them in and really lets defenses down. Even seeing, I'll give a little sneak peek of the book. It's just an explosion of artwork. Like every single page has gorgeous hand-drawn illustrations of these parables. And so
This is like a kid's book for adults.
yeah,
Right?
It is. So the funny thing is you could call it a devotional book. It's a little wild to call it that, but
So it's not 365 days, right?
no, it's 100 illustrated parables that explore this pirate narrative. It's a fictional pirate narrative, one paragraph per page that's underscored by my spiritual journey.
Gotcha.
And it reveals the spiritual meaning in each of those parables. So each parable stands alone, but they're also woven together, one continuous story. So the funny thing is because it's just parables of a fictional pirate tale, an explosion of art, and then first-person stories of my spiritual journey, people of all spiritual backgrounds are loving it. Christians, atheists, all sorts, all backgrounds, because you can't argue with testimony.
Amen.
It's just, it is what it is. It's just, this is my experience.
Yeah.
And it just says, it's first person the whole way through. The last parable is the only parable out of all the 100 that says the word you in it.
Wow.
And so you can step into it if you want and apply it to yourself, or you can just observe. And then the parables are this cool pirate narrative. And then the artwork alone is really fun to look at. So God's taught me a lot through making excellent artwork that people can just soak themselves into and just have fun.
That's great. I
Well,
love that.
people gotta have fun doing this.
Yeah.
So
What else? So these are the couple iterations.
these are iterations. It used to be called Huga Kingdom, and Huga is like I think it's a Danish word for a cozy house.
Okay.
It's like a cozy feeling of hospitality. So I wanted the book to feel like that when your defenses get taken down through parables. That's like why Jesus told parables, is because you can tell them to an angry audience, and if they want to find the meaning, then they can follow the scent of the pie that's baking and be like, oh, it smells really good. What does it actually mean? And then it got developed into Parable Park, a little bit more of a marketable name. And this is where the illustrations came in. They were in black and white at that time. And the pirate narrative was not there yet.
Okay.
It was just the random stories, random parables. And then it developed into this awesome final format.
I love Discover God's Voice.
Oh my goodness. And it is, it has been a blast to see it come together.
A lost pirate. So it is truly like your journey over the last
It really is.
6 years, 5-6 years. Wow.
It's actually my whole life.
Your whole life,
It covers
okay.
the whole journey of my life.
Okay.
And there's so many Easter eggs in this. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, got to get your own.
This is interesting. These are the original sketches.
Oh.
And when God told me to write this book, I was so excited because I've drawn things since I was a little kid. And all I've wanted to do was illustrate a book that'd be so fun. I'm a product designer, so I'm always drawing products, but I'm like, it'd be so cool to... And God's like, I want you to write the book. I want you to do the graphic design of the book, and I want somebody else to illustrate it. I want you to spread the kingdom wealth. And I'm like, that's the one gift I had, God, here. And so I obeyed God, and my good friend Stephen Teague, he illustrated it, and he did a fantastic job. So these are, let's see here, these are all the original illustrations, and he just did a killer job with the ink washes and
Kind of Pilgrim's Progress feel.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did such a great job.
These are beautiful. You got to turn these into art eventually, like things that people could
Seriously.
frame and put up in their home.
Yeah, that'll be the next step.
Wow.
So, man, we could look at these for
All day
forever.
long, yeah.
All day long. He did such a great job. Yeah.
So
Whew.
when they pick up Pirate Parables and they read it, what's your hope for them when they
Yeah.
dive into it?
So, the target audience is pirates at heart, spiritual pirates who, again, want to get spiritually wealthy, and not prideful, stuck-up people, but people who are willing to admit, hey, there's treasure out there. Even if I feel like I know God, there's more treasure I could find. And the humility to admit that, or if you're completely lost in life and you're suicidal, you've tried everything, this is also a great fit. If you're just like, I want to find it, whatever it is, because the Bible says if you seek God, you'll find him when you seek him with all your heart. So he's looking for people who are willing to leave the shores of their comfort zone and row like 160 miles into the ocean and be like, I might die doing this. Like, I lost everything. I left it all behind. The price is high for finding it. It's literally everything. But at the core of it is finding his voice. And that's like when you enter a captain's ship, you join his crew, you hear his voice.
Yeah.
And he stewards your life. He provides for you. He's there to command you and command the crew so that you guys find success and find even more treasure. And so there's a lot of Christians out there who don't even know God's voice. They don't know the captain's voice. They've been going to church their whole life, and they don't think God can even speak to them at all. And it's false to believe that, because God does speak. He has spoken, and he
he's
values
still speaking.
what he's still speaking. So I'm so passionate about helping people discover God's voice that I wrote this book. Really, God wrote this book through me to just help people discover him speaking. And there's a cool analogy in there of a gangplank and a ship, and what those represent biblically and spiritually. This is going to anger some people. This is a hot take.
Okay, this is good. That's perfect for YouTube.
This is good. So I think people need to hear this.
Yeah.
I believe that the Bible should not be elevated to the point of God. There's actually a name for that. It's called a bibliolatry. It's where people idolize the Bible. And it is God's word, but it's not God in and of himself. He speaks through the Bible. And so I see the Bible as a gangplank to get onto God's ship. Like, you need the gangplank to get onto God's ship. But so many people stand at the gangplank their entire lives and just argue about the gangplank. I think the gangplank is made of this type of wood. I think it's this long. I think this is how you walk onto it. I think you stand on it this way. I think it's this shade of brown. And God's like, walk across the thing, man. Like the Bible's full of stories of people doing life with God and going on excursions of a lifetime, the adventure of a lifetime with him, going into foreign lands. Like, find me any character in the Bible, any righteous person in the Bible who was stationary their entire life, even physically.
Yeah.
Like Abraham, God's like, move, go somewhere new. I'm not even going to tell you where we're going. Moses, like, just go out in the wilderness, go here, go here. And so I'm sad to break people's hearts who are viewing the Bible as God, but it's not God. It's his word, and it's so helpful to know that because it shows his character really clearly.
Yeah.
So you need to read it to understand his character, and you can test his voice so that his sheep know his voice, and you can see his character in the Bible, and then when he speaks to you, be like, hey, that lines up with God's character, and then you can move confidently through life and pray continually wherever you go. And it's possible. It's not like this unachievable thing. Growing up, I thought it was just this thing we're trying to all attain. We're just trying to pray nonstop. It's like praying is just like talking with your wife.
Yeah.
Like you go home and you just, hey, honey, how's life going? How's this? Hey, you know what I would love for Christmas, actually? I know I said this earlier, but this is actually what I'm thinking. And it's relationship. It's real dialogue. Like, what kind of healthy marriage isn't on speaking terms?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. So God wants to speak with his people. He's desperate to speak with his people. He wants an actual relationship, not like, we'll wait till you die kind of a thing. He's like, he's there. He's there to guide in real time and give life and life abounding. So rivers of living water flow out of us.
Yeah.
And that's the fruit that he's talking about. That's the fruit, and that's where the joy comes from. And so I'm just so excited to help connect people with God in that way.
How can people be praying for you over the next 5-6 months? You're hitting the road in the pirate ship.
Yeah.
How can they be praying for you?
Such a good question. Oh man, I would love for the hearts of good soil to be sent my way at God's right timing. Not for book sales. It'd be great to sell books, but that's not my goal in all this. I want to connect people with God, introduce people to God, and help them become best friends with God. And so those people, I just want their ears to be open to God's voice, and for our paths to intersect at God's timing, and for people to be bold. I want people to be bold, and if they see me on book tour, just come say hi, and just talk. Like I'm a open book, literally. My whole life's in a book. It's public now, so I'm just here.
What's this over here? There's a big old. There's a bag of. Is that like the ones that got discarded, or?
This is this got a lot of people angry. This is a book that I chose to explode. With a firework. It looked exactly like
so it was
this.
the first prototype.
Yeah, and you can see the explosion at the very end of the Kickstarter video.
I'll put that in this video so people can see it.
And it was a fun parody, like, hey, we're gonna explode this book nationwide. So I wanted a visual. So this is actually the first print copy I exploded. And people were not happy that I did that because they were like, we wanted that, man. We would have paid a lot of money for it. I'm like, too bad. It's all blown up. Maybe it's worth more now. I don't know.
Exactly.
Put it in some epoxy.
It's a fun visual for the video.
It's very fun.
That's awesome. Pirate Parables, find your treasure, discover God's voice.
Yes, sir.
What's one thing you can leave my viewers with on how they can discover God's voice?
Such a good question. I would say another hot take. It'd probably make some people angry. But I would say that at the core of the kingdom of heaven, in a lot of ways, I think it's selfishness.
Keeping us from hearing God's voice?
No, I think a big core aspect of the kingdom of heaven is selfishness. In a lot of ways, one way is like, you think of the prodigal son, and he went out. The father let him go, he spent all his inheritance, wasted it all, ended up in a pig dump, and was just like, I'm cold, I'm homeless, like the servants eat better than what I'm eating here. This is terrible. And I just need to make it back home. And so he's on his way back home, and probably some thoughts in his mind like, will my father kick me out? What is he going to do? But he's got to make the trek all the way back home. It's probably really far. It says he went to a far place. So he's already cold and exhausted. He probably has diseases. He probably has all sorts of crazy. His teeth are probably falling out. And so he makes the trek all the way back. And his father just runs out to meet him and just has open arms and is like, I'm so happy to see you. Like, that's God's reaction, and it's his character. That's how he functions. So when people are like, how do I hear God's voice? It's like, you need provision, like you need care, and you go back into your father's house. And let's say you were like an alcoholic and like you come back, he's not going to be like, oh, look, you're an alcoholic. Like, I don't actually want you here. He's just going to give you food and clothing and just love on you. That's what he's going to do. And your job is to receive. And in a lot of ways, just be selfish for a while. Like you let down your pride and you made the trek back. But it's actually time not for you to make a difference in your Father's kingdom, but it's just time for you to receive and honestly like have spiritual heart surgery for a while and just sit there, receive, and let his love pour over you and get to know him and fall in love with him. And then the impact on the world comes way after that. Sometimes, it took Moses like well over 40 years to make any kind of an impact. He's like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm just going to go be alone in the desert for a long time. And even for me, like, it's been almost 6 years of the world not really knowing what I was doing. And it was 6 years of just spending time with God, obeying him, going all around the world. God moved me every like 4 or 5 months for the past about 6 years.
Wow.
And so he stewarded my life so well, and I got to receive everything from financially, receive where I was going to go, where I was going to live, what car I was going to have, and be okay with not proving myself or tackling everything on my own and conquering everything on my own. God's like, I want to start from a new foundation, take away your dream job, take away girls, take away money, and just create this space, this like incubator for you to receive and learn that I am your provider and that you have nothing without me. And we'll build something better from that foundation than you could ever build on your own. And so he did that. He took all that stuff away, and it was painful for a while. And then it became like, wait, this is the most beautiful lifestyle I've ever seen. And then people started coming to me being like, dude, what are you doing? I would do anything to live your life. And I'm like, so there's like, you talking to somebody else in the room? Because I have nothing, man. I have nothing to my name. I have nothing. But they saw the joy and the peace. And that heart is grown from a heart of sonship, or just being a child of the King, and realizing like, wait, my dad's a king. That makes me a king. I'm a prince. I get to walk around with royalty, and royalty really like wrapped around me. And then people see that and they're like, what is that in you, man? And circumstances are rough. They get rougher all the time. And then my joy just keeps increasing. And now I get how Paul was in prison with so much joy in his heart. And it's like, I get it. Because I have the same God, the same Holy Spirit that he has. And God just kept him company, talking with him. And, you know, it'll be better in a lot of ways after this life, because we'll be with God, and it'll be great. It'll be perfect. It'll be great. It's going to be banging. Whatever he's got out of this. We don't even know. He didn't say much about it in the Bible, but I know it'll be good. And he has he has us here, and he says that heaven can start now if you want it to. And that starts with getting to know him intimately, not just reading the Bible. It's so good to read the Bible. The Bible never says to read the Bible every day and go to church every Sunday. It's like so good to do, but he's like, make disciples. And what that looks like is the person who's making the disciple knows God. And so the disciple just gets to watch that person do life and do life with God and see like, wait, that's a cool life flow. Whatever that's going on there, they have like insider trading, man. Like God tells them about the future. God tells them about how to steward the present, what choices to make. And it takes the burden of life off your shoulders and makes it the coolest adventure ever. So does that help answer your question?
No, that's perfect. No,
Okay.
I wasn't sure where you were going when you said selfishness.
It's a long shot, but
Yeah.
it was a long answer. But
it's
it's
good.
the best way I can answer it, and I know it's going to make a lot of people angry with.
No, I think some
selfishness,
people
but-
probably started to get a little angry, and then they're
Probably.
like, "Wait a second, no, what you're talking is truth."
Yeah,
and
but
stripping
I
it.
think a lot of people don't know that at all,
Mm.
and it like Christianity to them is just only radical sacrifice of like setting aside all your personal desires and just cutting your joy out of your life, and that comes from not knowing Him really.
Yeah,
Because God gave you those desires.
yeah,
He gave those to you, and so He's like, let's swap kingdoms for a second, okay? You steward my kingdom, you steward the kingdom of heaven, grow the kingdom of heaven here on earth, and then God will steward your kingdom, and see how that goes for a little bit.
yeah.
Give Him some of your cards, and then watch Him steward it so well, and then you just keep giving Him more and more of it, and it's like it's the coolest thing ever. And then He makes dreams come true. He makes dreams come true. He'll give you the desires of your heart. But that's not, if that's your goal in following Him, then good luck ever getting the desires of your heart. Holy moly.
As you're talking here, I think while you go on your pirate adventure around the country, you need to be doing some videos, just you and the camera, because He's gonna speak to other people who come in contact with. Like they're gonna be encouraged when they
so,
talk
too.
to you, but I think your tank's gonna be filled up and you're gonna have stuff to share. So
I think so, too.
I'm gonna link your channel to my channel so that people can
Cool.
go check it out, follow the adventure.
Please do.
So they can't get the book unless they come out to you.
Yep,
Right?
for the next
now.
few months.
For the next
yeah.
few months.
For the
That's
next
great.
few months.
And you can get a
create some
coin.
scarcity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And an experience, like you said,
Come on.
in a world that's addicted to our phones. Like
Yeah.
I hope they
Get off your
get up,
phone.
like
Put
after
it
you
down.
watch this video, put it down. After you see Parker on social media,
There we go.
put it down. Open up a physical book. Go do something fun with your family. Have a pirate adventure.
Find some coins, man. Get yourself some coins.
Those are legit